Well, we're into the second month of the year, and a lot has happened. This is the Monthly Moan. Last week, Boris Johnson had his first major reshuffle of his cabinet. Out went several of the big names: Andrea Leadsom, batshit crazy woman; Esther McVey, the Wicked Witch of the West Wirral and now of Tatton; Geoffrey Cox, the Attorney General, went out, as did Teresa Villiers, the Environment Secretary. One of the appointments was Suella Braverman as Attorney General. Now, Suella Braverman is an American and has knowledge of American law, not British law. So what good is she as the Attorney General to tell the government whether or not it's breaking the law or not? I mean, she has a good idea if they're breaking American law, but not British law. Bit strange, really. Maybe it's because Boris Johnson wants to move away from giving the judiciary an independent role and wants them more linked to the government of the day, being able to appoint judges who will see his point of view. A bit like how the American Supreme Court works, he wants the British Supreme Court to be the same. Political, not independent. Bad move. Another major shock was that with Sajid Javid. Sajid was hauled into 10 Downing Street and basically told that he could stay as Chancellor, fine, but he'll have to remove all of his advisors. Everybody who advised him would be sacked. I mean, he already lost one and was livid about it. Now he was going to be basically told that you're all going, and it would neuter him. It'd make him basically useless and a puppet of 10 Downing Street. He said, no chance, and he resigned. Oh yes. So, he was replaced by Rishi Sunak, who is more or less a yes man for Boris Johnson. Considered an ally, one of the people who voted to leave Europe. From what I can see, he's going to be a puppet of 10 Downing Street. But let's see what the budget is like. And if the budget sounds like it's been written by Boris Johnson, you damn well know that this guy is just there to make up the numbers. Changes are afoot in the government, with a new lineup of people. But some of them are still there. Priti Patel, she's still there. The main ones, Matt Hancock, all them lot, they're all there. Meanwhile, in 10 Downing Street, you have bunches of advisors being brought in by Dominic Cummings. He wants people who think outside of the norms of politics. Some, weird people. And he brought this one in, Andrew Sabinsky. Without any way of looking into his background, they brought this guy in. Well, this guy has views which are basically misogynistic, racist, vile. Why did you actually even think this was a good idea to bring this guy in? Sometimes I think Dominic Cummings is a bit loopy if he brings in people like this. Thankfully, this bloke resigned of his own accord, but didn't make any apologies about how vile he's been in the past. No, he just went, yeah, so what? I mean, this is a guy who said that women's sport is no better than Paralympic sports. This is a guy who basically has stated that the black people are less intelligent than white people. This is a person who said that you should forcibly give birth control to people of lower class. Nasty piece of work. Thank God he's gone. But it then leads to think, if Dominic Cummings is allowing people like this in, who else is in 10 Downing Street that we don't yet know about, that have come in as advisors and are lurking in the background? Meanwhile, trade. Boris Johnson sent Dominic Raab off to talk about trade to the Americans, and it sort of collapsed. Yes, well, all that talk of, yes, Boris, get Brexit and we can have a great trade deal with America. Well, he went to America and he said, sorry, get to the back of the queue. We've got to really get a trade deal with the European Union first. Yes, Donald Trump has worked out that having trade wars is actually not a good idea. After having a rather unpleasant trade war with China, although China suffered greatly, so did the United States. They've got a trade deal now. And then he went and did a similar job with Europe. And he got his ass handed to him. So, what's he going to do about that? Simple. Wants a trade deal with Europe, so he doesn't have his ass handed to him anymore. Yes, that means that Britain, you're at the back of the queue. Oh dear. Meanwhile, Europe is going to have the gloves off for a bare knuckle fist fight with the UK when it comes to our trade deal. And I don't think we're going to get a very good helping here. Meanwhile, of course, Donald Trump has survived his impeachment. We all knew he would. The Senate voted basically in line to acquit him of the charge. However, it's still on his record that he was impeached, just like Bill Clinton. Meanwhile, Labour. Yes, the Labour leadership. Well, there are 3 people left. Emily Thornberry finally decided she couldn't continue. Well, she didn't have the numbers. And we're left with Lisa Nandy, Rebecca Long-Bailey and Keir Starmer. Now, Keir Starmer has the charisma of a house brick. Lisa Nandy is as subtle as the aforementioned house brick. And Rebecca Long-Bailey is basically Jeremy Corbyn's successor. It's up to the Labour Party membership now, as the ballots will go out, to who to vote for. As I am a Labour Party member, I got a big leaflet today from Keir Starmer with a big picture of him, as if I don't know what Keir Starmer looks like. Keir, I know what you look like. You know, I've seen enough pictures of you. But I'm sorry, I just think you have the charisma of a house brick. I'm socialist. I'm quite left. But I'm not too sure who to vote for in this one, because to vote for Rebecca Long-Bailey, yes, it continues the Corbyn sort of like legacy. But the problem is that in the Corbyn legacy, they started putting up policies that were like magic unicorns. And people don't vote for magic unicorns. Oh, Christ, no, they voted for Brexit. But normally they don't vote for magic unicorns. And what Labour was doing was, it was a lot of magic unicorn stuff. Things that couldn't possibly be done. Not economically. They were economically unsensible. So I'm not too sure. Also, we want to bring the party back together. And having somebody from the left like Rebecca there, and the deputy leader, well, Angela Rayner is the odds-on favourite, and I hope she does get it, because I think that Angela Rayner is phenomenally good. But it would mean there would be 2 lefties, and I just don't think that that would be good for the party to have both on the left. The party pulled to the left, because, quite frankly, as everybody has said, elections are won in the middle ground. They're not won in the left or the right. It's for Labour to move that big empty space that's sat there right in the middle of politics. Come up with sensible policies and have a party that is basically combined, the right and the left of the party brought back. So you need somebody who is centre of the party. That, I'm afraid, is not Rebecca, but it is somebody like Lisa. And Lisa has already proven that she can handle the press. She went up against Andrew Neil and she survived. She went against Piers Morgan and beat him hands down. I think she's got a good chance. Keir would be considered the metropolitan elite. Not good, because, remember, people voted against that in many respects. They voted against Jeremy Corbyn because, you know, basically all the stuff about Jeremy Corbyn, about him being a terrorist sympathiser and all the other absolute rot that was put forward. A man who's won 2 Peace Prizes. He's a terrorist sympathiser, yeah, okay. But the fact of the matter is, Keir would be seen as the same metropolitan elite, at least with Rebecca and Lisa. They're both northern MPs and they've got northern accents. I like Lisa Nandy's cut. I think she's quite good at what she does. She is quite, I'd say she's as subtle as a house brick in many respects. But I think to have a female leader for the Labour Party, it's about flipping time, because, you know, the Conservatives have managed it twice and we've not had one. And she's also ethnic minority, so that would be a first for the Labour Party, which is about time for the Labour Party, really. We are supposed to be the progressive party, and it would be the first in the country. It would be a good thing. She can take on Boris, and she needs to be able to take on Boris, and I think Boris would find it quite difficult with her. Especially if he goes off on his bit of his racist stuff, when you've got somebody there who is from the ethnic minorities. So, what else has been going on in the news? Well, today the government put out its outline for immigration. Oh yes. Basically, we don't want low-skilled workers in the country. I hate for people to be called low-skilled. Low-wage is a better description. These are the people who do a damn hard job but aren't paid well for it. Carers, cleaners, The people who go out and pick the veg and the fruit off the trees and out of the fields. Without these people, we'd be screwed. Now this woman here, Priti Patel, who has got about the brains of the aforementioned housebreak, well, one of her things says there are 8 million who are economically inactive who can go out and do work. 8 million? Hang on. 8 million. Excuse me, I thought the unemployment was 1.5 million. Oh, I see. You're talking about pensioners and students and people who are ill and disabled. Oh, they can go and do the jobs. So somebody who's ill and serious problems can go out into a field and pick veg. An old man who's got back problems can go out and pick veg. The sick can look after the sick. You stupid woman. That is why I say she's got the brains of a house brick. Absolutely stupid. And this is a problem. We do need these workers. We have got gaps in our market on the low end. The low skill area, there are still people required there. These are jobs that people in this country don't want to do or can't do. Yeah, if you've got top skills, you can come in. It sounds to me as if you want, well, the indigenous population can do all the shit jobs, and we'll get people in from abroad to do all the top jobs where the money is. Yay! That's not good. We should be training our people to do the top jobs. Yes, there are people who want to do the low-skilled jobs, but there are shortages of people to work in care homes. There are shortages of people to work in hospitality. There are shortages of people who want to go out into the fields. Veg picking is a back-breaking job, and it's paid shit wage. Hospitality work, working in hotels, is a hard job. Being a care worker is a hard job. That's a bad one. And you need people to do these because we have got a population is aging. But now, no, Priti Patel can say that the people out of those actual homes should go out and do the work themselves. She's a numbskull. What an idiot. 26,000 you need to get into this country. £26,000 to get your points. Unless it's a job that's required. One of the things like health workers in the hospitals, because nurses, of course, don't get paid anyway. It's 26 grand when they start. So you want to get them in, but everybody else, not a chance. Oh, and by the way, if we take her criteria, Priti Patel's parents wouldn't have been allowed in the country, so she wouldn't be there to be making up such rotten, stupid ideas. She is a danger, and I still don't know why she's there. Priti Patel was brought in to the cabinet, and I'm thinking she's just not up to that particular role. Home Secretary, one of the highest offices of state, given to somebody who was a relatively low-ranking member of the party. Meanwhile, the country has been flooding. This is a video from the Evening Standard. The flood water surrounds Upton-upon-Severn. Yes. Lots of water everywhere. Climate change is probably the biggest thing that's caused this. But it's also very strange that when you have floods, it makes car drivers drive backwards. Don't know about that, but hey, they're driving backwards in the video. Very strange. However, yeah, climate change is a lot to do with what's going on. We're getting warmer and wetter winters, and if you get warmer, you get more rain, basically, i.e. a lot wetter, and it is been atrocious. I mean, I don't think it stopped raining all week. It's been rain, a few hours of none rain, and then rain again. It's raining now. It's been bucketing it down. We've even flooded here in my town. It's gone over in a few places, but it's just ludicrously daft. West Yorkshire, terrible floods in Yorkshire, terrible floods in Lancashire, down towards the Severn estuary and all up along the River Severn, massive floods there, floods in Wales along the Wye, down the River Wyre and it's just constantly flooding. It is bad. But the problem, and one of the problems we have, is building on floodplain. I mean, that is madness. You build on the floodplain. What the hell are you doing building there? It's called a floodplain for a reason. It's where the river overflows into a flood. If it needs to overflow, it's got somewhere to go. And then you can build houses there. So it can't go anywhere. And the water's not seeping into the ground. The ground's saturated, it's not seeping, it's running off into the rivers can't cope, and they're flooding over. And originally they used to flood into the floodplain or flood up above, and they can't do now because some burkass has put a load of houses there, and there you have it, 39 dwellings on a floodplain. Exciting. This is George Eustace. He's now the Environment Minister. Great Environment Minister, a man who has voted against many policies to help the fight against climate change. This is a man who has voted against those policies. So, yeah, a voting record which does not give you much hope. He's a pillock. And, yeah, what the hell do we vote for these guys? I mean, come on. The country's flooding. The environment's warming up, and yet what we've got a president of the United States who says it's a Chinese conspiracy. You've got a president of Brazil who thinks that Leonardo DiCaprio actually paid for the Amazon to be burnt. You've got an Australian Prime Minister who's a complete climate change clown and thinks coal's a great idea. And then we get an Environment Minister who also doesn't particularly go with climate change and generally votes against it. I mean, this is a nutter. Another one of these tools that we've got in government. Oh, Lord, help us. We have been told about climate change and it's going to destroy us for the last, God knows how many years, and we're still doing it, and we've still got pillocks like this guy. Yes, Theresa Villas might have been not the best woman there, but most environmentalists said that it was a bad move putting this guy there. Oh. So that's it from me for a month. Because it's been one of those where things have changed quite dramatically. Boris is still talking about HS2, and they've put it through and said, yes, we are going to build HS2, so yay. How far it's going to be built, I don't know. They're going to review it when it gets to Birmingham. We get further north. But then again, what about getting the north actually connected? It's absolutely ludicrous. You can now travel down to London at next to no time, but it still takes you a hell of a long time to get across to Leeds from Manchester because the rail network is crap. Sort that out first before you even think about building a connection. But nah, you know, we just have to put up with it. Boris Johnson also wanted to build a bridge to Ireland. The man couldn't even build a bridge across the Thames, and then he's talking about building one to Ireland. That was just pie in the sky, and it's never ever going to happen. Well, if you like what I do and you like me moaning about things once a month and basically complaining about politics most of the time, you can like and subscribe, and you can hit the notification bell. If you want to visit me on my website, you can do it. It's www.citylife2050.com. There you will find the graphic novel which gives this channel its name. And if you want to support me, you can do through Patreon, which supports this channel, the website, and the graphic novel. Well, that's it for me for another month on the Monthly Moan. Keep up to date. We will have the constant a view from the north. Also, look out for my Woo Alert series, which will be coming up soon, where I'm going to tackle such things as anti-vax, climate change deniers, space deniers, flat earthers, and the whole kit caboodle of complete lunatics who come up with conspiracy theories which are, as I say, absolutely bonkers. But until see you again, have a great one, stay safe, bye bye.